Hello everybody, welcome to another Amulet video. I've been getting a lot of requests to do sort of, the classic question, what list would you play this weekend? Or like, what would be like the no-nonsense list? Well, I have heard your requests and right here, there it is. This is, if I had an event this coming weekend, this is the 75 that I would be playing. Definitely up to some changes here and there, but like at least probably 73 of these 75 I will be playing. I was the main flex slots would be like the third endurance and potentially the third tracker. Those are really like the only cards that I could see being something else. And you can of course like grab this shell and then make the adequate changes based on what you expect to face, right? Like you expect to see a lot of Murktide. Well, maybe you can play the fourth Cavern of Souls in the sideboard. Maybe you can even cut the Ghastly Break and just play 4 caverns in the main deck. You know, there's a couple different ways that you can go about things, but this is for an open meta, like an event on MTGO. This is what I would be playing if I were to play this challenge or whatever. So I think this is fairly straightforward, fairly stock, I would even say. I'm in the deck list. The only thing that you don't always see is like the 3 copies of Boseiju. And the reason I would be doing this is, first of all, because Boseiju is broken. It's the best land we've had for Amulet in a very, very long time. And also because there's been a pretty significant uptick in Hammer as an answer to the pretty significant uptick on Murktide. So because of that, I think Boseiju has a ton more value these days than it did maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. So if you pay attention to this deck list, I'm actually playing the full 4 copies in the 75 with like 3 in the main deck and then a 4th copy in the sideboard as well. The rest of the mana base is pretty straightforward. This Castle Guaranbreak could be something else, but it's really the only land that I could see changing. You can mess around with like cutting the Gruul Turf or like the Rot Farm or like messing around with these numbers, but everything else it's pretty much set in stone for me. Like it's what's been working out for me really, really well, and stuff that I don't see myself changing in at least until we get the new card, the new leaked card or whatever. Yeah, this is what we're gonna be playing through a modern league. So hopefully you will enjoy it. If you do, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, you can support the stream and the content by using TCG Player and Mana Traders services. And you can also find a 10% discount with Mana Traders in the description of the video down below. And of course, you can also have access to a donation deck list through Patreon and through booking coaching sessions on metafy.gg. Those are all different ways that you can support my content. If you do, really, really appreciate it. And in any case, I still appreciate you being here. Let's play some Magic, shall we? Let's go. All right, what do we got here? So if we go Saga on 1, this is a Titan on 3. It's not. It's actually Titan on 4. Is that good enough on the play? I think so. This is because we're gonna have an Amulet. If we didn't have an Amulet, I wouldn't be keeping this. We do have a significant amount of great draws here, though. Explore is great. Azusa is nuts because it actually gives you a turn 3 Titan. Is that true? No, that's not true. Never mind. Castle would give me a turn 3 Titan. Castle would give me a turn 3 Titan. Amulet would also give me a turn 3 Titan. So we're playing against Murktide, which is probably pretty bad for us. I think I want to play out the forest, and I don't want to show the cavern just yet. So Monkey's gonna connect. There it comes. Hitting for sure and flipping an Amulet of Vigor. Yeah, that one would have been nice. That one would have been nice to draw. There's a DRC. I could pack for Dryad here. I think I'm interested in doing that. So let's find Amulet of Vigor. And let's Summoner's Pact. I guess we have to pack for Azusa, actually. Never mind. Yep. So we're just gonna go Cavern on Human. Cast Azusa. I guess we lose to Dress Down, funnily enough. But it is what it is. And now we're gonna reset our Cavern of Souls. Azusa dies, but we're gonna take 5 and then win on the following turn. We're gonna take 10, I guess. So if my opponent plays another DRC or Murktide, they can race me. Explore. That's actually kind of a decent draw for them. They have iteration, okay. Beaning Consider. Exiling Tarn, playing Tarn. Okay. Pay for a pact here. Cavern on Giant, and say go. So something interesting that we can do next turn is we can go Growth Chamber, play Titan, get Valakut plus second Cavern. And what that will do is it's going to put my opponent into a weird spot where we can play Dryad second main. And if my opponent hits... I mean, I'm forcing my opponent to have 2 Unholy Hits in hand. Oh, heat plus double Bolt. Okay, so they play Bubble, Iteration Bubble, Cantrip, Murktide things. Just all around Murktide things. Yep. Swing for 5, down to 8. Exile Rot Farm. Okay, so they do have Murktide. Let's see how big it is. So I guess if they get rid of Delirium, I win, but they don't because they're not idiots. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. My opponent's not a fish. Unlucky. Okay, so here is a Primeval Titan. And what I can do... Are they going to dress down? Wow, brutal. Must be nice having it all. Okay, so Murktide is one of our worst matchups. So here comes the trackers. Here goes Cultivator Colossus. Boseiju comes in. Castle comes out. I also want to cut at least a couple of Ursa Sagas. And... Oh, Endurances, of course. I think I like Endurance better than Tracker. But not by too much. This seems fine. Let's go with this. This hand is so awkward. It has a Cavern of Souls though, and that's kind of really what matters. So our best draw would be like a basic forest or something. Even a Gracer would be a pretty good draw. Untapped G would be great. If they don't have Monkey, I'm going to be a lot more comfortable. Great. No Monkey is very good. Amulet. Sure. Pierce this if you want. Good. Good. So I could explore here. I think I'm going to. Because I think it's better for me to actually have more lands in play. Here's an Explorer. Second Dryad. Not super stoked about that, but it's okay. The fact, if I had any other green source besides the Growth Chamber, I would have played this turn very differently. I wouldn't have done this. Okay. So let's go Dryad into... Man, this is brutal because I'm going to get Blood Moon next turn. So I think what I want to do is I want to do this. Play land, play Celestian Sanctuary. This is going to allow me to Endurance my opponent on their turn. Bouncing the Growth Chamber. Pass the turn back, opponent doesn't get to connive. But yeah, obviously Blood Moon is just devastating here, right? I just kind of straight up lose to it. Okay. Pass the turn. Well, here's an Endurance. Target you. Untap. Primeval Titan? No Primeval Titan. So unlucky. Okay, so let's play Cavern on Dryad. Cast Dryad. Play this. And we don't have Cultivator Colossus, so I'm just going to play this Cavern on Giant. And I guess that we can haste this Dryad. I can just +2/+0. Soon with the dudes. Yep. And this is why I did it this way as opposed to showing my opponent that I could make it 2-4. Good here. Boop. Down you go, little birdie. So now if, at this point, even if they have Blood Moon, maybe I can just race a Blood Moon straight up. Dress down. You got it. I may be able to just race a Blood Moon. I mean, probably not. Blood Moon is really messed up against us. Let's see if they can enable Unholy Heat. But this is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage, which is a pretty decent amount of damage. Actually, I can put my... Oh, no land? Okay, so I'm going to put my opponent down 1 by activating both. So let's stop like this. +2/+0 the Endurance. Play a land. Double strike Endurance. And I'm 1 mana short of killing them, I think. Alright, so the randomly drawn Sunhome and Slayers ended up giving me the game, which is pretty funny. Any changes? Maybe the explosives. I'm seeing Shredder, DRC. I think I won the first explosives over the expedition map actually, but too late now. Okay, yeah. This is a good hand against Blood Moon, and that's one of the big stories of this matchup. Monkey's bad. Yeah, Monkey's bad for me. Gracer. Off the top, Gracer. So unlucky. How can somebody be this unlucky? Alright, opponent. What are you gonna flip? They flip Summoner's Pact. I dare you to cast that one. Red. This is gonna be like a shatter effect of some kind. It is a Braid. Okay, it's fine. So there's a Valakut. Your go. No second land is big, of course. We really want to see a Dryad. Oh, yeah, that one. Just like that one. Explosives would be a pretty nice draw. I have to imagine they're going to hit their land drop here. They do. Okay. Dryad, please. How about another land? When you say Dryad, Fran, did you mean another bounce land? No, deck. You made a mistake there. I actually meant a Dryad. It's okay. It's easy to confuse a Dryad with another bounce land. Opponent considers on end step. At this point, we are wildly far behind. It's going to be almost impossible for us to catch back up. The good thing, though, is if my opponent does Blood Moon here, I would be very happy about that, because I get to play 2 lands, and if I do find the Dryad, as I was saying, and I do get to play 2 lands, and then, oh, okay, never mind. Bojuka Bog. Okay, play that one, I guess. I guess I'll play that one. At least it makes the DRC a little bit smaller. No Cracking Eyelet. Interesting. Oh, they just have iteration? That makes sense. That makes sense then. They exile another monkey, okay. So I guess that was not the best iteration I've ever seen. Exile Cavern of Soul. Oh no, my cavern. Another DRC. Engineer explosives off the top. Although I guess they probably have a counter spell for explosives. Explore. Damn it. Ugh. So I guess I'm just gonna Growth Chamber, Bojuka Bog, bog them again. We're going down to 4. So we probably lose to Lightning Bolt. We go down to 4. Exile T-Wet. I guess they can have Dress Down. Jesus. Wow. How did this even happen? It's remarkable. It's remarkable. Yeah, I think I'm just dead now. If they enable Delirium, I'm dead. I'm also dead to Lightning Bolt. Also, they just have Delirium. They just Dress Down this gets destroyed, and they just crack Fire Eyelet, and that's Delirium. So we're dead here. Wow. Not even cracking the Fire Eyelet for the guaranteed Delirium. They're just gonna flip it off the top. It's cooler that way. All right, that's it. See you next round. Round number 2. Interesting hand. I'm keeping it. We can go turn 1, Amulet. Turn 2, Explore into Map. Turn 3, Map 4, Bounce Land. Go from there. So it's basically just missing a single Primeval Titan, which is a spot that I'm okay with. Opponent plays bubbles, then bubbles themselves. Misty Rainforest, fetch. So this could be a couple different things so far. Could be Murktide, Basic Island. Basic Island is surprising. I mean, could still be Murktide, to be honest. Could still be Murktide. I mean, it can't be something like Rhinos. Shredder. Okay, so it most likely is Murktide. Shredder into Bubble is a little bit scary. So I would love to draw a non-bounce land, I think. They discard Bubble to the Shredder. 3 bubbles in the top 11 cards. That's funny. I mean, ideally, I will just found the bounce land, right? Ooh, okay. So this allows me to do a lot more things. So now I can just go Azusa into Explore, into do some more stuff. So we're gonna have, my opponent's gonna get to like Connive or whatever, but we're gonna be playing a bunch of spells anyway, so. Also of note, my opponent doesn't really, like, Shredder doesn't play particularly well alongside counter magic, so. Discarding Breach. Okay. So we have 2 land drops. I can go Map into Boseiju. That's one of the things that I can do. I can go Map into Bounce Land. Mapping to bounce land allows me to crack the map. Another thing that would be kind of interesting would be Rot Farm ×2. Because if I do that, I can crack map for Saga. And then play Gracer to actually play the Saga this turn. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's gonna be my play here. So, just gonna do this twice, still holding onto the bounce land. Then we're gonna crack the map for an Ursa Saga. Where is it? Over here. And now Gracer for Saga. This is going to lead me towards double Amulet. It's worse versus if my opponent is playing main deck Blood Moon, but the Underworld Bridge makes me think that Blood Moon itself, it's not so likely. I'm gonna take the 3 here, this is fine. I'm at 17, not that big of a deal so far. Monkey is good. Okay, are they really playing counter spell alongside Underworld Breach? That's quite interesting. So, here we have to strike a balance, right? We have to figure out what the right balance is between hitting my land drops and then actually making sure Cultivator does anything at all. So I kind of need to hold on to some of these lands. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play out this basic forest and just pass the turn. If my opponent wants to continue doing nothing, that's probably fine. Like, this monkey is not connecting. If they have Blood Moon, I lose regardless. Iteration, okay. If they hit land drop into hold counterspell, that's bad for me, but back-to-back Murktide gamers is kind of unlucky. Oh yeah, please play that Channeler. Oh yes, awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna be good. Even if my opponent kills the Azusa, we're gonna have double Amulet and we're gonna draw at least 3 cards off of this Cultivator, netting me 9 mana, 10 mana, sorry. So yeah, this is good. This is looking pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna take 3. Interesting attack. Well, gonna block with the monkey. And now what? Shocking. Okay. I'm gonna make a construct here. And I'm gonna play around removal on the Azusa. So I'm gonna just float a mana here. Then we're gonna go Rot Farm. And I guess I'm gonna make 2 land drops with the Rot Farm first. I guess they can't spell pierce this, so I think it's better to just cast the Explorer, because I may find another land, which is gonna make it perfect, yeah. So that's gonna make my Cultivator better. So that's 1 more draw from Cultivator, and 2 more mana. So that's 7 mana. Cast this bad boy. You can connive, opponent. I will allow you to connive. Discard the 4th bubble. All right. Okay, so that resolved. They can shock this now, which I kind of don't care at all about. Alright, so they been from the DRC there. Now we're gonna get to do some stuff and some things. Okay, so that's game. Gonna copy Valakut here. Yep, that is certainly game. So now we have to stack all the Amulet triggers, and the last thing to go on the stack is gonna be the Saga. Look at this. Imagine doing this in paper. Wouldn't you enjoy just pointing out specifically how many triggers you're putting on the stack to your opponent? I live for that. Float mana. Float mana. Float mana. Float mana. Float. I'm gonna leave that one untapped. Float. Yeah, so we're just gonna do some stuff on some things. Just don't mind me. Just doing stuff. Don't mind me just doing stuff. Return some lands to my hand, and play this Dryad, then play this other Dryad, then cast this Primeval Titan, because why not? Let's get the last Valakut, and opponent concedes. Okay, so we are playing against Murktide, so I want to sideboard similarly to how we did last match. Bring in the Endurances, cut the Cultivator, cut a couple of these. We're gonna cut the Castle. We want the 4th copy of Boseiju. Dismember always has felt like it's in a very interesting spot in this matchup. Oh, we want to cut a couple of... Dismember always has felt like it's in an interesting spot in this matchup where we kind of want it, but at the same time we kind of don't. Let's cut Map, and I think I want to cut 1 Amulet. That opens up room for maybe one Dismember. People have not been playing Magus, which is the main reason to run Dismember, but I think it's probably better than the third copy of Tracker. Sure. I mean, I'm not going to mulligan this hand. No green mana, but I have the Amulet. We lose to Blood Moon, but that's also the name of our deck, so... Nothing new under the sun over here. Yep, definitely keeping this hand. An odd one, but I think it's going to be a decent one. The question is whether we Dismember on one, or we Amulet. I think if they play a Monkey, I'm going to Dismember it. If they play a DRC, I'm not. Move to 5. Okay, that's good for me. Lead on Bubble. Bubble themselves. Good old Bubble trick. They play Fetch and Crack, so they don't like what they saw. Get a nice little shuffle value. Okay, so do I want to play around Spell Pierce here? I can play around Spell Pierce, so I think I'm gonna. I don't think the construct is gonna be relevant enough for me to want to do it. No second land. Okay. Well, this is quite interesting now. I mean, I'm gonna play it now. If they want to pierce it, they can. They don't. Just gonna pass the turn again, I guess. It's more valuable to hold on to the bounce land. Spirebluff Canal. They upbraid my Amulet. Fine, we're gonna have another one. That's super rough. That is super, super rough. So I guess we're gonna pass the turn. And we're gonna discard Explore, I think. There's an argument for discarding Summoner's Pact instead, like the redundant copy of Summoner's Pact, but like my opponent having access to counter magic can be pretty rough. Any green source and we're cooking, but alright, iteration. Kind of punish, right? If I hadn't played around Spell Pierce on turn 1, then I could have played the Ursa Saga, so I would at least have a 2/2 in play right now, which could block a Monkey or whatever. Alright. Another turn goes by, and I think now I'm gonna discard the Tireless Tracker. No, actually I'm gonna discard the Summoner's Pact. Am I gonna get Blood Moon here? Monkey. Okay. That I can beat. Oh, look, a green source. Sick. Alright, so I'm gonna go to... I think I'm gonna go until combat. And I'm gonna dismember the Monkey in combat. So there we go. Kill that Monkey dead. They're gonna counterspell. Okay, sounds good. You got a deal. So that probably suggests that my opponent has another counterspell, because that's a pretty aggro counterspell, I think. So I have to lead on whatever I want my opponent to counter here. So I guess I'm gonna lead on Explore. No counter there. Okay, that's the turn. We are a little bit short on green mana here, a little bit limited on it. We'll see. Growth Chamber has been exiled. Sadness. Another iteration. Blood Moon. Yep. Okay. Holding up blue mana. Do I just want Asusa? I think I just want Asusa. So if my opponent wants to counter this, I mean, or at least they have to interact with this first. Maybe this can eat a counter spell, which would be ideal. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay. Pass the turn. So now we can potentially Endurance to buy, the idea there being to force my opponent to use counterspell on the Endurance itself. Because they only have access to one blue, and then they only have access to the blue if they use the Monkey. So I think these Endurances are going to do a pretty significant amount of work here. We're going to pass the turn, untap, then after they declare attackers, we're going to cast this Endurance. That's the third counter spell right there. Oh, or not. Okay. Well, I'm going to target you. So they actually do have Unholy Heat there. They do have... Okay. But now they're out. So now the second Endurance is going to be a lot better here. So we go to 8. They flip Bossage. Yeah, that one would have been pretty nice to draw. Okay, so passing of the turn. Dryad. I think we're just going to Endurance once again. And I'm holding on to this land here because we can Tracker plus land. Shredder. Okay. Someone going to attack here? They are. Okay. Here's an Endurance. So if they have Counterspell, they have to use it now. Okay, so they do have Counterspell number 3. which puts us down to 6 life. Discarding heat. We take 2. So I guess we can Dryad here. Is Dryad better than Tracker? Iteration. Okay. That means they don't have counterspell mana. Never mind. I found the basic. The question now is, will I have time to get the Tracker engine going? Nice. Yeah, right. Seiju, the Blood Moon. And I think I'm gonna play the Dryad. Play land. Float a mana. Bounce this. Replay this on Giant. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to play the Tracker here. Even though my opponent they get to do Shredder things here. I think I'm still supposed to do this because it frees up my turn for next turn. We're dead to Bolt, but we were dead to Bolt regardless, right? Because my opponent could have just played two spells on their turn. And next turn they're gonna get to Connive once again. Breach. That's enough. Okay. I have been beaten. Let's see game number 3. Am I supposed to have more dismembers in? I don't think so on the play. I think this is fine. Maybe an Explorer. Maybe over an Explorer. Yeah, maybe I'm just gonna do this. Explore over Engineered Explosives. Explosives is good whenever they go wide, but it's not super likely for them to go wide. This hand looks pretty good, actually. Turn 1 Green Source, go. Turn 2 Explore. We may get got by turn 1 Monkey. Turn 1 Monkey is bad for me. Okay, great. So now we get to Explore. Oh, they got a Pierce for this? Oh, okay. Consider is fine. Doesn't matter too much. Great. So now we just play Sanctuary and pass the turn back. Awesome. Okay, so now we get to Dryad. We do get to resolve Dryad. And we do have access to Endurance, so we're going to be able to use this Explore to pitch to Endurance in case my opponent tries to hit my Dryad. And this is exactly Titan mana, so as long as we don't get Blood Moon exactly on this turn, we should be in pretty good shape. We just need to dodge Blood Moon specifically in this turn. Opponent knows about this Cavernous Souls, okay, good to know that they know about that. Man, this is actually pretty close. Because I can play both, but then I don't have a green card for Endurance, and my opponent gets to Connive once again. So I think I'm actually just going to go Dryad. I'm just going to play this and play Cavern on Giant. Just pass it back. If my opponent goes Land Blood Moon, we may be in trouble. But otherwise, we should be good to go. Okay, this is great. They can't even interact with either of my cards, right? They can't interact with the Endurance, and they can't interact with the Pact. Now, I guess they can Spell Pierce the Pact, but that's about it. Okay, discarding Bolt makes sense. Opponent's got a 3/5 Shredder, and if they attempt to hit here, we just Endurance, which is nice. Take 3. 3 has been taken. Okay, so since hit does not matter because of Endurance, I think I'm gonna go. Oh, that's perfect. So now I even beat Spell Pierce, which is great. So we're gonna play. I guess they could have Subtlety. If they have Subtlety, whatever. I was gonna say I was about to go get Valakut plus Valakut plus Basic Forest, so I didn't lose to my own Pact. But now that we actually top deck the Titan, we just have lethal here. Always yes, always yield. And then we have the extra land drop from the Dryad. So they're gonna heat probably the Dryad, and then we just Endurance, pitch and Explore. Again, they could have Subtlety. Do they? Nope. Alright. So that's game. And my Dryad's gonna take 2 points of damage. And they're gonna take 18. Triggers. Excellent. 1-1 versus Murktide. Round number 3, and this hand is wild. So, as long as I don't play the Dryad, Castle is gonna enter tapped. Meaning that I can go turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Amulet, and then we could have access to Titan mana on turn number 3. So I guess I'm supposed to keep this hand. Because I can just copy my You have to be kidding me. Am I really playing against Murktide for the 3rd match in a row? Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I guess I'm going with this because I'm not going to play around Blood Moon game 1. And also it makes it so I can Vesuva copying the Ursa Saga on turn 2. Okay. Play 2nd Spiral of Canal and then swing in with DRC. Untap. And we do find a bounce land, which makes the Vesuva play a lot better. Copy Saga here and just pass it back. I just don't need to jam anything into counterspell, right? So next turn I'm going to have triple Amulet if I want to, so I can really put my opponent on the spot. DRC triggers off of Bubble. They already played their land drop. And they discarded Consider. They bubble themselves and they keep on top, which is a little bit scary. So my goal here is going to be to try to overwhelm their mana by just doing a bunch of things on the same turn. So I think we're just going to let this... Oh, they shuffle. But they drew off the thing. So we're going to float a mana here. And I think we want to get Expedition Map here. This means the construct's going to be 4/4. So if I get Amulet... No, actually it's better for me to get Amulet because it means I can double spell. So let's go Sanctuary. Net a pretty considerable amount of mana. Bounce. We're going to lead on Azusa because it's the worst. And we have an outrageous amount of mana. So Azusa is the worst of both of them. And now we can go Sunhome Castle. This means I can also make another construct on my upkeep if I want to. Float mana. Float mana. Here is a Dryad. My opponent does not counter either. So by not countering either, they're probably saving the counterspell for the Primeval Titan, which we can kind of play around next turn. So the question is, do I want to play either of these lands out? Because they could have... It's realistic for them to have like Bolt into Heat and they kill both of my things, right? I think I want to play out the same. And I'm going to bounce the Garenbray because it enters tapped. Gives me more options. And I don't have to make the construct just yet, so I'm just going to chill on that. Nothing? They just do nothing. I was not expecting nothing. Shredder is fine. Shredder resolves. That's it. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to block. So if I block DRC, they just die, right? Because they have to like Heat or Shock the Dryad. But then I just go play... Yeah, I just chain Titans if that's the case. So I guess it's better for me to... We have 1/2 mana plus to crack. No, we just take it. Actually, no, this is fine. Because, yeah, this is fine. So now they can like attempt to like bolt my Dryad, which is fine. And they're going to have Heat enabled, but I can just chain Titans. Oh, I should have made a 4/4 and blocked with the 4/4. I'm an idiot. Yeah, this was pretty bad, actually. No, but this actually incentivizes them to do this, which is what I want. The problem is now they could also have an answer to the Azusa, and that would make things a little bit more awkward. But as is, so there's a 4/4. Okay. So this is 3 mana, but I'm gonna have 4 amulets in play. So this is 8 mana. 9, so this is enough. So I just float a mana here. Even if they have a shock for the Azusa, that's just fine. Here is a Growth Chamber that taps for 8 mana. Here's another Growth Chamber that taps for 8 mana. So we do have a healthy amount of mana over here. Bounce this. I'm gonna crack Expedition Map. Get Telluriwest. Transmute Telluriwest. Get Summoner's Pact. Opponent's gonna get to Connive, but I'm just not playing anything here. Then we're just gonna go T-West, Growth Chamber, net outrageous amounts of mana. Opponent says Censored Dude, which it's kind of lame that I have. Moda forced me to like reinstall, and when I did, when you do, it actually resets your things, and for whatever reason, just presets to your stuff being censored. Here's a Primeval Titan, Slayer Stronghold, Boros Garrison. We do have to be mindful that again, my opponent could just have access to Unholy Heat. Float some mana, float some mana, float some mana. Haste that one, haste that one. And I think we're just gonna haste one of these two and tap this, replay with Azusa. This is my last land drop. I actually misclicked. I wanted to leave I didn't want to leave the Garrison in play. Just wanted to haste over there. And now bounce this. Have infinite mana floating, but it's fine. Beginning of combat, swing with everything. Say yes. Gonna go Bojuka Bog to force the issue. And Boseiju, whatever. This just doesn't matter. Bojuka Bog is just in order to force the issue right here. And have my opponent spend their mana on heat if they have it, because otherwise they just can't deal with my Titans. And now Saga Gruul Turf, I guess. Whatever. Obviously we're in garbage time. Alright. Make your blocks, opponent. No blocks. Good play. Alright, Murktide Gamer number 3. I like the last game plan that we went for. Some like this, explore, cut that, bring in Boseiju, cut castle, cut 2 sagas, 1 map, 1 amulet. I'm gonna go with this. This looks pretty nice. This hand is not great against Blood Moon, and it's not great against Monkey. Can we do better than this on 6? I mean, this hand's just solid though. I don't think we can really mulligan this. So we can go turn 1 T-West, turn 2 Boseiju into Rot Farm, explore, put them most to 6. Explosives for 1. Sounds good. Deal. You got yourself a deal, opponent. I think I actually want to do that. Mostly because my opponent is apparently respecting Amulet way more than they should. Like, that's the only reason to bring in engineer explosives. So since they are I can like take advantage of the fact that they're respecting Amulet that much. So here's a Boseiju, and here's an Explorer. And now, pass the turn. Are they gonna hold on to this explosive to crack it? Hopefully. I guess I could have gone, instead of playing this, I could have gone Rot Farm, bounce, Boseiju. Maybe that was better. To play around Blood Moon better. Well, clearly I'm a genius. I could just make a construct, but it's just gonna be a 1/1. Like, that doesn't seem impactful at all. So here's an Amulet, and here's a Rot Farm. We're gonna crack that thing? We're gonna blow that up? We're not, huh? Okay, let's bounce that then. So we're gonna blow it up now. So right now, we just don't have enough mana. We're just gonna have 6. So opponent can blow up explosives here if they want. We're gonna Boseiju the explosives there. I think it's way more valuable for us to say Boseiju for Blood Moon specifically. Okay. I could just bluff, but I don't think I want to. Okay, Tracker's pretty good. Let's play this out. Bounce, play Tracker, play Grazer. I'm just really interested here about just baiting this activation. They're gonna shock here, bolt. Okay, that's fine. And now, I really want to make sure that I have black-green open, so I can Boseiju if I need to. So, let's pass the turn back. They bolt my Grazer with an engineered explosives in play. There's an explosives on 1, and they throw a bolt at the Arboreal Grazer. That was the best Grazer I've ever seen. Murktide. Sure. Alright, so that's a 3-turn clock, so I do have to speed up this process right here. Here's an Azusa. Do we counter this? Do we crack the explosives? What are we doing? Subtlety. Pitching consider. Alright, some plays are being made here. We're gonna send Azusa to the bottom. Some plays are definitely being made here. Take 8 down to 12. Oh, they top deck Blood Moon, dude! They top deck Blood Moon. They had 0 cards in hand and they top decked Blood Moon, man. That is incredible. Wow, my opponent had it figured out all along, huh? Just bait me. I just got baited. Well, this hand is heinous. This hand is okay. All right. Good bottom Summoner's Pact. Let's go Boseiju into Amulet. Next turn we have 4 mana. All right. Yep. Here's wow, if they crack this right now, they could actually get me pretty good. So now if I find a Susa or another Gracer, I can Titan, which should be pretty good. Can I draw a Susa or Gracer? I guess they could have Subtlety. They just showed me Subtlety right now. Second Amulet. That's pretty good. All right. You're gonna have to show me that Subtlety, opponent. So this is gonna be 3 mana. My opponent's gonna get to shred here regardless, right? So, but by doing this, I get to haste, which is nice. Subtlety or Force or Bus. I'm gonna respect. Meal Titan. Do you have it? You don't. So now we go Garrison into Vesuva. Copy here. And we're not gonna get to kill them, but we can put them in a situation where... So I can bounce Boseiju here, but I have to make sure that I have double green, because I need to pay for my upkeep pact. We have Boseiju, we can go basic forest. Tolaria West? I could just go double forest. Yeah. I think double forest is the way to go. So that deals 10. Opponent can have heat. This is not lethal. So they should just take 10. They should just stop complaining, chat, after they literally were they're just chump blocking. All right, yeah. So they should just stop complaining and just play the game instead. Like, that chump block makes no sense. It doesn't even feed it doesn't even feed Unholy Heat. Like, they already have a creature in the graveyard. Okay, I mean, they can still go like instant, like whatever instant into another something. So the good thing is that if they Blood Moon me here, I can just not use the Boseiju, just pay for my pact on upkeep. Yeah, this is great, because this guarantees that I can't lose. So now I pay for my pact on upkeep, and I just swing for 6, guaranteeing that I have the next Titan already set up, and I get so I just get T-West. I think double T-West here. Yeah, I just get double T-West. And next turn I can just blow up the Blood Moon. Like, they already are in a spot where they have to, like, they're just dying to my Titan. This Titan is lethal next turn. So by doing this, now, because if I had just gone ahead and just like blown up my opponent's Blood Moon, then that gives them an enchantment in the graveyard and a land so they can hit my Titan. And then I don't have a way to get a second Titan. So now we have a second and third Titan already set up and ready to go. So even if they have to answer the Titan, otherwise they just lose to it. And even if they do, we're just gonna be fine because I can just get 2 more. Sure. Now what? And Holy Heat. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so can I do everything in the same turn? Oh, this is just so much better, right? So I can go 1, 2... Because I need the bounce land to actually return the T-West to hand. But I think what I want to do is I just want to play out the Endurance and just say go. Because I don't want to give my opponent the extra mana. They're losing to the Endurance already. And I don't have enough mana to do everything that I want. Like, I need 2 mana to actually use Boseiju, then 3 to transmute, and then I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana after that. So I can't Titan in the same turn. So I don't think it's worth even doing. So let's just Endurance, target my opponent. This means no Murktide, this means no Unholy Heat. Okay, swing for 3. If they dash Monkey, do I care? I don't think so. So I'm just gonna play out this and say go. Iteration. I don't think there's too much they can do though. Alright, well there it goes. They just bowl themselves. And that's how this game ends. Iteration into bowl myself. I mean, I think my opponent was just like... they were just way too focused on tilting off instead of just focusing on playing the game. Because they made so many plays that just had no sense at all. They just made no sense at all. But yeah, I mean, don't tilt off. I don't recommend tilting off. See you next round. Oh baby, this round is this round is starting off strong. Double Serum Power Dismember. Okay, what a banger. Yeah, this hand is also a banger, so we're gonna keep it. But wow, I've not seen this deck in a very long time. All right, turn 1 Eldrazi Temple. Sure. So let's go land into Amulet, of course. And next turn we can go Explore. Turn 2 Matter Reshaper, unbeatable. Oh, Eternal Scourge, even more unbeatable. The fact that we have Boros Garrison in hand is a little bit awkward, but I think it's fine. We can work with this. Spawning in a Chalice here. If they are, they should. We do have the answer for it, fortunately. Chalice and 0 is gonna be a wrench in our plans. Okay, so we did draw Summoner's Pact. So now what? I think we go Boseiju into Explore, and then we reassess. Another Summoner's Pact. Alright. So if I go Bounce Land, Boseiju, and my opponent goes Thoughtnot into Chalice, that is worst case scenario. So I think what I want to do is I want to go... Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go play out Boros Garrison, bounce Boseiju. Then we untap. We find second Amulet, we can go Growth Chamber into Explore. That's going to net us some much needed green mana. And then we can use the redundant green mana to Boseiju, and then the extra mana that we get from Explore to cast the Primeval Titan. This is, of course, assuming my opponent has exactly Thoughtnot Seer into Chalice, which is the worst case scenario for us, and it's something that we're still beating. Alright, there goes the Thoughtnot Seer. So imagine there goes the Primeval Titan. Let's see if they also have the Chalice, but even if they do, we have this covered. Wow, alright, yeah, they had the best possible thing. They were so excited they even forgot to attack. So I think I'm not making mistakes here. So we play, float a mana, we get second Amulet. We're gonna play this. That's gonna be 4 mana. Then we're going to use 2 of those 4 mana to cast Explore. Yeah, this should be more than enough. So second Amulet, here's 4 mana. We can even go for Cultivator, which I always find very fun. So there goes, oh, Asusa. Yeah, don't mind if I do. Well, now we're definitely going for a Cultivator. Perfect. Asusa, play this out. Float some more mana. This is just beautiful. Not that we needed the Asusa, but it's a lot more fun now that we did find the Asusa. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more fun this way. Summoner's Pact. They could have dismembered for the Asusa, but Asusa has done its job already. So here's Cultivator. And click there. Click there. Alright, that's lame. That is lame. So we're gonna make some even more mana. Each one of these Dryads nets 1 mana. 1, 2, 3. Play another Bounce Land. At this point, I'm pretty clear they do not have the Dismember. Float some more mana. More mana. And did I say more mana? Did I say more mana? Because I definitely meant more mana. Let's bounce this. Summoner's Pact. Primeval Titan. Prime Time. Say yes. T-West. Growth Chamber. Gonna get another Primeval Titan. Mana. More mana. And more mana. You get the point. I think at this time you probably are gonna do in very, very many damages. Mana and more mana. Bounce here. Primeval Titan. Yes. Let's go get Stronghold Valakut. And this should be super, super lethal. Gonna haste both of these bros. Go to combat. Attack with everything. Say yes. Valakut. Vesuva. And all of this to like not even be able to hit lethal. Because we're just gonna kill them with Valakut triggers before. So sad. So sad. Alright, so this matchup is really, really good for us. We want to have access to the extra Boseiju, cut the Bojuge Bog. And this is usually against Eldrazi. I am a lot more interested in cards like Force of Vigor and I am a lot less interested in cards like Dismember. And the reason for that is that that deck can go over the top, and the matches that we lose to that deck are usually when they do go over the top, when they do the Tron thing. Here they don't have access to the Tron thing. They're a lot more aggressive, meaning that we don't really need to go that as far over the top. So I think what I want to do is I want to actually bring in maybe like a Dismember or two, not too many, but like a Dismember or two in place of like a Cavern of Souls. And maybe even the Kalni Garden over another Cavern, potentially? Yeah. So doing something like this, I think is reasonable. Alright, what do we got here? His hand is quite bad. I think we can do a lot better. Also, my opponent with the 62 card spec. Okay, his hand's fine. I mean, it's not super great or anything, but it kind of does some things. It has good mana, doesn't care about Chalice of the Void, which is one of my opponent's main angles of attack. Oh wow, they're gonna have Mimic? Wow, I've not seen this card in so long. Crazy. Dismember is pretty good there. So if they have a... Okay, I'm taking 2. Definitely on the taking 2 plan. I think my opponent's gonna have access to Thought-Knot Seer on 3. 2 mana for Ratchet Bomb. Yeah, that's very much okay. Ooh, interesting. So let's go explore into Amulet. I think it's gonna be the play. Yeah, holding on to the Boseiju. So we can just say, actually Beast here. We already have enough color of the mana for Prime Time and Dryad and stuff, and they may play Chalice on 1. But yeah, so now if they play Thought-Knot, they may... Oh, Ratchet Bomb can actually blow up the Amulet. Is that really a big deal? I don't think it is. So I think they're going to be forced to take Dismember, which is obviously pretty decent for me. But I honestly, for whatever reason, I forgot that this costs no mana. I forgot that this actually costs no mana to activate. So this was a mistake. I should have just like passed with mana up. Because now they're going to blow up Ratchet Bomb, and then I'm going to actually be a little bit behind. Not like super behind, because I'm not taking 4 from the Dismember, so I'm just going down to 14 here. So I don't think my opponent can set up lethal next turn. They should blow this up right. But yeah, I totally forgot how Ratchet Bomb works. I was thinking, oh, they need mana, and I was thinking Engineered Explosives. But yeah, Ratchet Bomb is a card, I guess. Okay, so for whatever reason, they do let me untap, which I find intriguing. Do this. Bounce the Cavern and explore. They should have already blown this up, I think. Another Boseiju. Okay. So I think I am playing around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I am playing around my opponent being able to blow up this Ratchet Bomb on the Amulet, so just gonna play out the ETB tap land here and bounce the Forest and send it back. And now we kind of really have to draw a Primeval Titan. I think if we draw a Titan, we may just be good. They may have Smasher here, which would be a pretty fast clock. Damn, they just had the nuts. Is this lethal? This actually is lethal. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a little bit of info here, and maybe if I was gonna do this, I should have done this before, because now my opponent could just not get the swamps. So we know they have a basic swamp, and I just want to know if they have a second one. But I'm very dead here, obviously. Okay, so only a single swamp, unless they're baiting me into thinking they have a single swamp. Okay, so that they're actually super creature heavy. So let's go with Dismember instead. With the last copy of Dismember. Anything else? Just gotta explore. I think this looks good. We really just want to draw Primeval Titan, as we often do. All right, so game 3. This hand can really backfire. This hand can really backfire. We don't care about Chalice, which is nice, but a turn 3 Thought-Knot can be a huge problem. I think I'm gonna keep just because we're on the play. But this hand, like if they have like a turn 2 Thought-Knot somehow, that would be an issue. Why is my opponent playing 62 cards? Like there's literally one card that matters, and it's Thought-Knot Seer. Everything that is not a Thought-Knot Seer is actively hurting my opponent's win percentage. So I don't think that sideboarding all the way up to 62 is where it's at. Roll to 6. Wait. Wow. They actually are... Yeah, 62. That's so strange. Anyway, whatever. Here comes Hitler West. Here you go. If I find a Gracer or an Explorer, Explorer was probably my best draw. Explorer, I think it's the best thing I can ask for here. Second Boseiju, not super great. Actually, never mind, erase that, because now what I can do is I can just draw step. I can just draw step, blow up the temple, and effectively time walk my opponent. So yeah, like just erase this. Like second Boseiju is great, because now I have a third untapped land, so I can actually draw it on 3 regardless. All right, you have your Flora and Colorless mana in your draw step, opponent. Oh, they actually drew the basic swamp. It's devastating, man. I'm sorry. I mean, I was not expecting it was going to be that much of a blowout. I was expecting it to be pretty good, but like that was just filthy. Here's a land, and whatever next land you play, I'm just going to blow up as well. No Dismember for the Dryad is big. So they just have to kill this Dryad somehow. Chalice for 0, that's fine. We got that covered. But it means that now we have to use the Boseiju on the Chalice as opposed to on the land. So if they go any land into Eldrazi Temple, then they get to Thought Knot our thing. The good thing is that we do get to Dismember their dude, so... Oh, okay. We got a game. We got a game in our hands. They're gonna Chalice on 1. We can also just draw Boseiju number 3 and just lol. I cast a Matter Shaper. I don't think I can beat that card. So I guess what we can do here is I can go float blue, and I can play around like Thought Knots here by going float blue, play Growth Chamber, bounce. Oh, I messed this up. No, did I? 6, 7. I guess I'm gonna have 1 mana left. I thought I had 1 more mana than I do, which sucks. Yeah, I messed this up. I was thinking I can just bounce the forest and use the mana, but I actually need to bounce the T-West, because otherwise I can't do anything. So I'm going to be 1 mana short here. So I think let's just play forest and say go. I can transmute this turn, and then if I find any untapped land, I can just blow up the Chalice and Titan on the same turn. But I don't really know if I want to do that just yet. Also, this means I get to Dismember for no damage, which could be relevant. Now, I think I'm actually going to... I'm just going to transmute here. It's going to transmute here. I think it's a cleaner use of my mana. Just get another Summoner's Pact. Say go. I don't want to offer the trade because I don't want my opponent to hit lands or to hit good cards. I'd rather just take 3 from this Matter Shaper. No blocks. Eternal Scourge Resolve. Okay, so now we actually just play a second Dryad and say go. And on my opponent's end step, we're just going to Boseiju the Chalice and then just win on my following turn. So they can't attack with the Scourge, so I'm just going to take 3. So I think this should be game now. There's nothing. I don't think there's any card my opponent could have. This Stone Brain, wow, that's a wild one. What a card! What a card that is! So this is the Primeval Titan. So I can spend 6 mana, and I can actually haste, which I think I want to do. So we just go Stronghold. Okay, they're off it. I was gonna go Stronghold plus Bounce Land. Bounce Stronghold, replay Stronghold because we actually have 3 land drops because of the Dryads. And then we can go to combat attack. And I guess I could have gone Vesuva and just like Sunhome. But they literally cannot beat a Resolve Primeval Titan. So, yep, 3-1. Okay, last round. And this is exactly the kind of hand that I envision. When people tell me, oh, but Cultivator Colossus is so good in Amulet, this is the kind of hand that I see in my mind. You know, it's just like, okay, I have 1 Amulet, 1 Gracer, and I have to play out all my lands to make anything at all happen. So by the time I get to resolve this, I'm gonna have 1 land in hand. But I still think we keep this. Well, this card is actually not as good as people think it is in Amulet. All right, so we're playing against Burn, so we're gonna be good. But it's not because of it's not because of how good Cultivator Colossus is. It's because we're playing against Burn. We even drew like the answer to Eidolon, which feels great. I love how quickly this goblin got attacked, and then like the Grazer showed up, and I was like, uh-oh. Am I really gonna use a lightning bolt on this Aurora Grazer? Well, I mean, you kind of have to. Serum Blaze, Eidolon. Okay, can work with this. I mean, it would be great if I drew anything at all. Not gonna lie. Can I just go Forest Go? Is that the play? I mean, I'm definitely playing out the Forest. That's the easy part. I think I bait out the attack on the Eidolon, but I'm not gonna take 2 from it. So I'm just going to. They're gonna attack with both. I'm gonna hopefully draw a card from the Gobbo, and then I'm gonna blow up the Eidolon with the Boseiju. My opponent says, "My utmost respect to you for playing the biggest brain deck in Modern. Good luck." Oh, thank you, opponent. Thank you. Good luck. All right, Gobbo. There comes the Gobbo. So many Gobbos. Trigger number 1, Gruul Turf. Trigger number 2, another Boseiju. Okay, so let's block one of the Gobbos, and we're just gonna Boseiju Eidolon. I don't love ramping the burn deck. We go down to 16 here. We go down to 16, and then what's up? So best case scenario is my opponent plays another Eidolon, right? That would be far and away the best thing that could happen to me. Suspend Riftbolt. Can I draw anything? Dryad most certainly qualifies as anything. So now we play Amulet. We're gonna go land, bounce, forest, pay 3, play another forest. And now, even if the Dryad dies, we should be good to cast Cultivator next turn. And if they fetch here on end step, I'm gonna blow up the Sunbathe Canyon, because I think that keeping my opponent off of cards is much more important of keeping them off mana at this point, because they're gonna have 2 cards left in hand with a Riftbolt on the suspend zone. So I'm at a virtual 13 as is, and I have blockers for both of these. So the only thing that I don't want is for my opponent to draw more lands, and then that can potentially be a problem. Like I feel like Cultivator for 3 is gonna be just fine, right? Like Cultivator for 3 lands as opposed to 4, it's not gonna be that big of a difference. Not when I have like a Valkyrie and a Dryad already in play. So Skullcrack Face, that's fine. But now we're gonna be down to 10 virtually. But my opponent has only 2 cards in hand, so I can't actually lose. And we have guaranteed Cultivator next turn. Down to 10, 2 cards in hand. Another Sunbathe Canyon is good for me, because it just uses up my opponent's mana. Lava Spike down to 7. We attacking with those Gobbos? We're not. Alright, so this is actually not plus mana. So I think I'd rather just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm just gonna play out the... I don't think they have an answer to Dryad main deck. So we're just gonna go 7 mana. Here's a Colossus. We have to make sure that we stack our Valakut triggers properly. And yeah, obviously I said at the beginning of the match that I didn't like Colossus, and then obviously Colossus ends up winning the game. But realistically, we're winning the game because we drew the Dryad, right? The Dryad, and then like the bounce lands and stuff. Like everything just helped me win this game. It wasn't the Colossus by itself, but yeah, obviously the Colossus ended up being what killed my opponent. But anything could have done the same, I think. Okay, so now I do like Colony Garden over Bojuka Bog. That's an easy swap. Boseiju over Cavernous Souls, another easy swap. And then I could cut... I don't think I want anything else. I could see Force of Vigor because Roiland Vortex can sometimes be an issue, but I kind of feel like we're just fine. Like I think I'd rather have lands and have Boseiju as my answer to Vortex and Eidolon. So I think this is good. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping this hand. We can go turn 1. Only a single green source, so slightly awkward there, but Dryad should help us in that predicament. Also, Goblin Guide, my good friend Goblin Guide should help me as well. There we go, of course. Gobbo, hook a friend up over here. Oh man, Revealing Cultivator Colossus, so unlucky. So if we do things kind of awkwardly, we can actually Dryad on turn 2, but we need to like go Amulet into Gracer into Dryad by bouncing the Growth Chamber, so we're going to be missing a land drop, which I'm not super stoked about, particularly because my opponent is going to have access to Smash to Smithereens and whatnot. So I'm not super happy about doing that necessarily. Tolaria West, yet another non-green source. Notably, still no green sources. Oh, Eidolon here would be devastating. Oof. That's a real good Eidolon. Because I can't play around it at all. I just have to take a gazillion damage from it. So this is an actual devastating Eidolon of the Great Rebel. Play Gracer. Just casual 6 damage from the Eidolon. Just your casual 6 Eidolon. Woof. Okay, if we do manage to untap with Dryad, we're gonna win. So we have that going for us. I guess we need a Dryad and Amulet. We need both. One of them is not enough. But it makes it so I actually do not want to block with Eidolon. With Dryad, sorry. So if my opponent just attacks with both, I'm just gonna block the Gracer and take the Eidolon, I think. Like the Goblin Guide or like vice versa, whatever. If they do nothing, then I'm just... Oh, no attacks is very good for me. No attacks is super, super good for me. This is going to be like an upkeep path. Smash to Smithereens my Amulet. Yep, that's bad. That's bad for me. Okay, so... We're down to 7. So we're just going to do this. Just pass it back. So we may just be dead here. And now I actually just have to block with the Dryad. But we may just be dead, actually. Okay, so here we drew the Saga, but we are at a virtual 5. So I do lose to double Bolt. It needs to be exactly double Lightning Bolt. There's no other card that kills me here. And nonsense like Deflecting Palm is embarrassing here. So we're just gonna go for it. And if they have double Lightning Bolt, we lose. Path to Exile is actually tricky here, huh? If my opponent had Path to Exile, they may actually get there. Can I be the Path to Exile? This is like one of the extremely rare scenarios where Path to Exile would actually do something meaningful. So, yeah, we don't have a life gain land, so we're just gonna go for Valakut here. Valakut and Vesuva, I think. Yeah, because Scalding Garden doesn't matter, so... This is lethal. Do you have the answer? Deflecting Palm doesn't do anything because I'm killing them with 3. Like, Deflecting Palm just does nothing versus Amulet, period. It's just a really bad card versus Amulet. So, if you're a burn player and you're playing Deflecting Palm versus Amulet, I strongly advise against it. But with that said, this is looking like it's gonna be GG's, and we maybe get there. Oof! Oh, I'm just. Oh, they're just shocking. They're just shocking before. That was cute. I like that. GG's. Another Amulet League, another 4-1, and this list looks super well-rounded. Even though we did get paired against Murktide 3 times in a row. Being able to go 2-1 there was kind of nice, to be honest. Yeah, this deck is just what it always has been, right? Like, it's a deck that if you have spent the time to get decent at, it just has enough of a power level that you can always get away with something if you play tight and if you just don't get scammed or like you don't get completely run over by your bad matchups. But as we saw today, you can also just beat your bad matchups as well, right? Like we beat Murktide 2 out of 3 times, which is not bad at all. But this necklace has looked so good. Boseiju has been... I mean, you saw the leak, right? So you saw how good Boseiju was. So right now, being at 4 copies just feels good to me. Just feels comfortable, and it just feels like it's where I want to be. So big fan of 4 Boseijus right now. Highly recommend it. It's still like it's 40 tickets on MTGO, and it's like 25 tickets in paper somehow still. So that part is brutal. I don't even own the 4 copies, but but if I did, though, I would play all of them. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Always really enjoy playing Amulet. Even when it's the actual stock-ish list. I always have a really good time. But that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw. And if you would like to support the content, you can do so in a free way whenever you use TCG Player and Mana Traders affiliate links that you can find in the description of the video down below. You can also get 10% discount with my promo code at Mana Traders for the first 2 months. And then if you want to support the stream directly, you can do so through Patreon donations, coaching sessions, all of that's available to you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video, folks. Take care and bye-bye.